folks, and welcome back to Around Our World in 80 Seconds. Today we are going to be talking about what to pack for a Run Disney event. Now, if you know me and my family, you know that we are pretty much addicted to running Disney. There's just something so magical about running a long distance through the Disney parks. The Walt Disney World Marathon was my very first marathon, and we've basically been running ever since. There's a couple of key things that you should think about when you're thinking about going to a Run Disney event, so let's get started. First off, everybody knows that when you run, you usually run with your phone to keep track of your miles. So in order to make sure that you have the phone with you, you need to have some type of phone holder. I've seen people like my mom who has their phone holder actually on their arm. They sell those little pouches actually at the expos. But I actually like to carry mine around my waist. Just goes like this, and I can stick my phone in it, and it's still accessible even though I would also have a fuel belt on. This is neoprene, so it's really easy to clean. Just throw it in the wash. And it also has a cool little insert, so I can put my ID or a credit card in there. It also has this little thing right here. I can also put my key in there without it scratching up my phone. And the phone gets really good reception when it comes to Bluetooth because it's not weird angles, so everything connects together. Now, one issue that I have come up with when running any long distance with my phone is phone battery length. Sometimes if you're running really long mileage like 26.2, your phone's going to run out of battery when it comes to keeping track of your mileage with the GPS, when it comes to keeping track of intervals, when it comes to playing music, texting, things like that. So I usually like to off-put a lot of things from my phone so that my phone is pretty much only counting mileage. It saves battery life. And so I have recently, this is a brand new thing for me, just bought a Gym Boss, and I love this thing. We do run walk intervals. This thing is fantastic. It's loud. It does a countdown kind of thing where it can beep multiple times to let you know that it's going to be time to start running or time to start walking. It also helps with the Run Disney event because it helps other people around you know when you're going to run and walk. Etiquette says that you need to put your hand up whenever you're about to walk, but this definitely, in conjunction with this, makes sure that the message gets across to everyone around you and you don't have any crashes. Alright, now I already mentioned my fuel belt. The fuel belt that I use is a Nathan fuel belt. Notice though it only has 2 pouches for water bottles. I usually go through half of it every 2 miles, which means that I usually have to refill sometime during the race. What I love about this pouch is it has a very large pouch in the back. So I can keep all of my goo in here, which since I'm gluten-free, I usually use MedRx electrolyte gummies. They're really, 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 really good. So I can put all of my gummies in here and it still fits. And I can also fit a package of these. These are Nun tablets. And so when I run out of water, usually around mile 8, I can just stick a couple more tablets in my water bottles and have the volunteers at a water station. They're always super helpful helping me refill my water bottle so I'm not out of electrolytes whenever I am running. Now, like I mentioned, I like to kind of take everything that I would do with my phone, whether it be photos or texting or anything like that, and I try to take as much of that off my phone as possible. That includes pictures. Now, I usually run with a GoPro during my runs when it comes to a Run Disney event because there's so many really cool things, from the characters to the spectators to just running down, Main Street and getting that magical feeling as you go down Main Street. However, you will notice that this is an extendable stick. Disney does not allow you to use extendable sticks in the parks. And they also do not allow you to use it during a Run Disney run because if it's out there, you're going to probably hit somebody with it. However, what they do allow you to use is just a non-extendable handle. And I really like this Go Pole, not just because it's allowed in the Disney parks, but it also has a strap, which is really, really nice during Run Disney events when I'm just running and I may not be filming at that point, but it's super light. The GoPro itself is also super light, and I know that if I accidentally drop it, it's not going to fall on the ground with a million people running over it. it's going to be on my wrist. So if you would like to take a GoPro and film all the magical moments during your RunDisney race, highly suggest doing a GoPro with a Go pole. Now, just like any runner, you need to make sure that you have your headphones. RunDisney actually suggests that you do not run with headphones because you need to be able to hear any course notifications. We've all heard that, caution runners, course narrows. But what I like to do is I like to put this just in one ear, and I tuck the other ear underneath my bra strap inside of my t-shirt. And that way I can hear all the course notifications, I can hear if people need to pass me, I can yell encouragements and have conversations with fellow runners, but still have any music or podcasts that I want to listen to during the race. And sometimes I won't even put my headphones in until about halfway through when I need kind of that extra energy boost. One thing that you're going to have to think about is when you start the race, it is going to be dark. The race starts at 5:30 in the morning, and you're going to be getting up at like 2:30 in the morning in order to get there on time. So then when you finish your race, it's going to be during the daytime, and if you're doing the marathon, you might even be well into the afternoon. So you need to make sure that in the morning when you are getting ready, even though it's dark outside, you need to think about sunscreen. I'm very fair skinned, so I need to make sure that I put some sunscreen on so I don't get burned. You also need to make sure you have your body glide. I don't think I need to go into any details about why you need this. Now, for usually any race where I'm traveling to a destination, I'm not just going to bring one pair of shoes, but I'm also going to bring a second pair of shoes. This is especially good idea if you are running a challenge race. Just in case it rains on like the 10K, or if you're doing the 5K dopey craziness, this just really helps to not compress your shoes all the time. So maybe you use your older pair of running shoes for the 5K or the 10K, and then you have your actual nice pair of running shoes for the next longer distances. What I usually like to do is I like to wear one pair of tennis shoes in the parks so that my feet don't get torn up by walking around the parks. And then I have my fresh pair of shoes that I know are not going to be wet when the race starts, hopefully. So it's a good idea to have a backup like that. The other thing I would suggest is to bring multiple pairs of socks, just in case things do get wet. And I definitely suggest you get like actual like sweat wicking socks, because if it does rain during a RunDisney race, these are going to be much better for your feet and have a much less chance of causing blisters than, say, cotton socks. Like I had already mentioned, bring your sunglasses. You can just put them on your head when it's dark at night. But you want to have them so that you can put them on when the sun comes out. Now, RunDisney races are especially exciting in my opinion, not just because of the wonderful places you're going to get to run, but also because you get to dress up as your favorite Disney characters. Now, this is obviously the dark side that we're going to be going to, so my family is all dressing up as Imperial guards, or Imperial officers technically, and I'm super excited about it. We've got little pins, so I'm going to wear like a black little shirt. I'm going to have my pin, and then I made sparkle skirts for my mom and I to wear, so we'll be matchy-matchy. I didn't think the boys would be very excited about wearing a sparkle skirt, but yeah, just make sure that you have all pieces of your costume with you, and make sure that you also come prepared for any weather, especially if you're going to be running marathon weekend. There's some marathon weekends, like when we did it, by the end it's really, really hot, and then there's been other weekends where we ran Princess, and we were expecting it to be warmer than January, but actually ended up being colder. So this is one of those cases where I would actually overpack. Bring an outfit that you can wear just in case it's warm, and bring an outfit just in case it is cold. That way you'll be prepared on either front, and you can put your costume on over those running outfits. Now, like I mentioned, sometimes it gets cold, so before the race, you're going to want to try to stay as warm as possible. So what my family has done is we've done a lot of races recently. So we actually bring old Mylar blankets from old races. This is the one from when I did my Dallas Marathon. And you can take them and you can wrap yourself up in them and stay warm. Just make sure that if you're using a Mylar blanket, you need to make sure that you discarded it before you get to the timing mats. because these will actually interfere with your timing chip inside your bib from communicating with those mats. So toss them before you get to the start line. If you do not have one of those blankets, I would suggest getting just a really old pair, like an old sweatshirt, maybe some old gloves and an old hat, because you can also throw those over the side of the barricades and they'll actually take those and donate them to different shelters. Now this one is kind of a personal preference. I always make sure that I bring my magic band with me when I go on a race. It's just nice to know that it's not going to be in a bag somewhere where I have to go through gear check. I wear it during the race. I'm super excited about the version 2 because I think the kind of appeal about this is you can take this middle part out and you can put it in something like a keychain. And so if you don't want to wear something on your wrist, you can definitely put it in something like that and take it with you on the race course. Now the other thing you need to make sure that you pack with you is your race waiver. And this is something that's so important. I actually have not brought mine out because it is in a special place where I'm going to make sure that I bring it with me to the race. But you need to print out that race waiver. You should have gotten an email about it. And you can just, you don't have to sign it right now, but you can sign it once you get to the expo. There are printers where you can go and you can print out your race waiver, but depending on what time you get to the expo, it may be very, very crowded. So we always print ours at home just to make sure we don't have to wait in line, and then we always have them. Alright, last but not least, I always like to bring some sort of plastic bag with me whenever I go on a RunDisney race or any travel race, because when you get done, your clothes are really, really sweaty and really, really gross. And I don't really like packing those clothes in with the rest of my clothes in my suitcase. So obviously we've done enough RunDisney races where we can use our old RunDisney bags. But you can just bring a garbage bag, you can bring a grocery bag, plastic grocery bag from Walmart or Tom Thumb or whatever, and you can use those to put your sweaty running clothes in as well. Well, I hope this was helpful to you. If you are going to be running the dark side, please let me know in the comments below. I would love to give you guys a thumbs up and maybe connect with any of y'all while we're down there. I think this is going to be a really awesome race. Let's have some magical miles. We'll see y'all next week.